Hello, my name is Alexia. I would like to make a video by the title Love Yourself is a Heresy. So let's begin. So people whom I encounter who actually teach this, they would say, well, yes, it says you shall love your neighbor as yourself, and using human philosophy, they would say, well, you have to love yourself first. Well, let's look at a couple of Bible verses um, in the Gospels. Luke 9 verse 23. And he said to all, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Luke 14:25 to 27 says this. Now great crowds accommodated him, and he turned and said to them, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. John 12:25. Whoever loves his life loses it, and whoever hates his life in this world would keep it for eternal life. The point is this, it's instead of loving your life, you have to hate your life. Just denying yourself daily, picking up your cross daily, that's opposite of Christ's teachings. Matter of fact, actually, if you look at 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 to 5, it says this. But understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty, for people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having an appeasement of godliness, but denying its power. Avoid such people. Notice, first of all, this has nothing to do with eschatology. I believe, for example, if the person became a professing believer at the age of, let's just say, 30, and he seems like he denying himself, and then at the age of 50, all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I need to love myself. I need to start loving money. I need to be proud. I need to be brutal. I mean, lovers of pleasure become lover of pleasure, whatever it is. Um, what kind of Christianity is that? There's nothing about daily cross, about denying oneself, because we ourselves are by nature children of wrath. We are children of Satan. We live by satanic command, do what thou will shall be whole of the law. Think of like each year you thinking, for example, like birthday, it's about loving of oneself. It's actually the most important holiday in Satanism is one's birthday. So loving yourself, it's totally goes against Christ's teaching, against Paul's teaching. And I know that some teachers would actually twist. Like, for example, in Ephesians 5:25 to 28, it says this: husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her having cleansed her by the washing of water by the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. And so they would say, look, if I love my wife, I love myself. See, that's perfect. I can love myself. But he's saying that, hey, if you love your wife, then you love yourself. And I would argue, since has to do with washing by the water of the word, I would argue that loving yourself in a sense of studying the Bible, learning the scriptures, that's in a sense like I think every true believer is interested in studying the Bible so that he could also teach others and not be deceived by some of false teachers which are everywhere. And the last, in book of James chapter 3 verse 13 through 16, it says this: who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not a wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For whereas jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. Notice it says, for where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. So, it's quite simple. Love yourself is satanic. And I hope this helped.